Hey, well, welcome to this episode of the Confidence Quotient podcast. I'm your host, Michael Carrillo. Joined with me, my co-host, Zane Kaufman.
What up?
And we've got a big-time guest. This is probably the biggest guest that we've had. It's a big-time deal.
Making me feel special.
I know. Maybe I shouldn't have told him that.
Yeah, you know what? Hey,
My ego's already big enough.
yeah, don't be doing that to him.
But, man, an honor to have Mathew Bowyer. We haven't gotten his middle name yet. What's your middle name? Raymond.
Raymond.
That's right.
Dude,
don't make fun of me, all right?
We're going to start calling
I might
you.
start calling him Ray,
Big
to be
Ray.
honest with you.
Hey, it's better than Matt because right now there's a little taint to that name.
Yeah, we'll work on that part of it.
Yeah.
But man, we're excited to have Matt Bowyer in the studio, guy that we've been working together for a little bit now.
Yeah.
And man, I see you more obviously than just a client or someone that we get to work together with. But I see you as a friend, man, and it's just been an honor to get to know you and spend time with you. And so, really excited to have you here today, bro.
Thanks, man. Me too. I'm great to be here. I appreciate it. Thanks
Yeah.
for the opportunity.
Yeah, dude, of course. Well, today is what's today? March 10th,
11th, I think.
11th.
So today's the 11th, and you're in a little bit of limbo right now. We're obviously not going to release this episode for a little bit, but today is the 11th. You just found out, was it last week,
Friday, yeah. Last
that
Friday.
your sentencing is just probably going to be pushed back a few more months.
I'd say more than a few, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way to October. This is the second time it's been pushed.
Yeah.
So it's February to April, April to October now. And as I told you earlier, it could change. You know, clearly if they settle with the casino,
Yeah,
then that being the government,
yeah,
then they know I want to get in front of the judge as fast as possible and get this going. So if that happens, then 2-3 weeks later I can be in front of the judge, and so it could be sooner. But as of now, it's October 3rd.
yeah.
Is that something that you're like itching for? Like, it, you know, obviously I've never been in a position like that.
I hope you never are. It's
Hey,
hell.
brother, me too. But is that something where you're like, man, I just want to get this thing going and get it over with? Or you're like, man, maybe more time kind of settles the wounds a little bit, and
You know, it's a great question.
you know, time heals all wounds. I don't know if like that's
Not in this
something
case. Honestly, I just want to get in front of the judge. I want
Yeah.
to get it going. The unknown is actually everyone I think deals with the unknown differently, but we all hate it.
Yeah.
Right. For the most part. And the more you kick the can down the road, the more you just wonder in your mind.
Yeah.
I'm fighting the mindset battle with that. Right?
Yeah.
But the positive of that is my daughter graduates from Oregon in June, so I get to go to her graduation.
No,
which
that's
is great.
awesome.
The positive is I keep building things like this, doing podcasts,
Yeah.
Documentary that I'm working on. All the things I do on the back end that can't be released is all work related for my future. So it gives me more time to do that.
Yeah.
The major negative is really just the mindset of dealing with day to day. Am I going to prison? How do I take care of my family?
Yeah.
How do I sit around not knowing what in the world is happening next?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
part is really the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
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 If you're new here, just to add some context, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know who Shohei Ohtani is or Matthew Bowyer, Matt was the bookmaker involved in the Shohei Ohtani gambling scandal. He had Shohei's interpreter as a client. And how much did he gamble with you over the course of his gambling
It
career?
was really small, $326 million.
Yeah, $326 million. And how much did he steal from Shohei in order to do
He
that?
stole, they're saying 17 million. I received 16.2.
Yeah.
There was some other stuff he was purchasing, memorabilia and other things for himself. But
Sure.
I believe dentist and all kinds of stuff. But which is sad because they had such a great relationship, and he had one of the greatest jobs in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
He was nothing but respectful, honorable to me. Never showed signs of any trauma as far as losing that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually made fun of himself.
Yeah.
We kind of bantered about it. So I thought that, truthfully, I wasn't sure whose money it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it Shohei? Was it him? And to
Yeah.
this day, I mean, let's be real. Nobody really knows except for Shohei and Ippei.
Yeah.
The government has shown a lot of signs of proof that Shohei wasn't gambling, but the question really remains in my mind, and I'm the closest to it after those two, is did he help his friend out? Did he loan him money? Did he authorize him to use some of the money?
Yeah.
Because I use this example a lot. If Michael and I have a great friendship, which we do, and let's say we have a joint account in business or something, we got $100,000 in the account. It's Michael's. He's doing better than me, right? I'm struggling. And I say, hey, Michael, can I borrow a few bucks? I got myself in a pickle. And he's like, yeah, man, that's cool. Expecting me to be normal and maybe borrow $2,000, 3,000, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I dip in there and I borrow $5. Now I'm gambling. I got some issues or drugs or whatever the person's into.
Yeah.
And now another 5 goes out, another 5. And next thing you know, the 100's down to 2.
Yeah.
And he hasn't looking because he's not worried about me robbing the guy or being that idiotic with his money.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, his money's gone.
Yeah.
It's all relative. Those numbers are based on who the people are.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it hard to believe that over 17 months that occurred without any authorization. That's the part that's really the big question mark for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too, $329 million. And this guy was just his interpreter, right? So if to only have stolen 17 million, where's this guy getting the other $302 million?
Well, let me explain that to you. So $326 million were the amount of wagers that were made through my website. So he only stole, 17 million.
Right.
But he wagered $326 million through me. He lost about 180 something million. I think it's 181. And he won 140 million throughout the 17 months. The net he lost to me was 40 million. So he still owes me to this day 24 million.
Wow.
Clearly I won't be seeing
good luck in that, brother.
Yeah. Not a.
But
not
even,
a chance on this planet.
still, like, that's still a lot of money for an interpreter to have.
It's an absurd amount. And here's the other thing. One of the main questions, which you're probably about to get to, is how did me, allow an interpreter to have that kind of credit, right? That's a big question I get asked all the time. Well, let me ask you a question. If a guy's paying you $500,000 a week, do you care if he works at a laundromat? Do you care if he works at McDonald's?
No. Yeah. I
No.
guess so. No.
It wasn't. My job was to provide a service.
Yeah.
You want to bet on my website? I'll pay you when you win, and I want to get paid when you lose. That service, they came to me. I didn't go hunting these people down, right?
Yeah.
So I provided that service, and he was paying me.
Yeah.
So where he got the money, I didn't care. I'm a greedy bastard like anybody. So at the end of the day, I was running a business. Everybody seemed to be happy. There was no signs of trauma until the end. So,
Yeah. So was there never a time where you were like, man, this is kind of getting out of hand? Like,
Oh, no, there-
with
that
the
time.
bets where you were like, dude, or maybe like what? You can answer that, and then I'll answer that, and I'll give you another one.
Okay.
I got him loaded in the chamber. Dude.
Okay, no problem. Shoot. So the truth is, it started as a 1,000 per game, $8,000 credit line, which is a normal account, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And then it quickly escalated to a $40,000 account. Then he paid it. So I was like, okay, great. The first thing as a bookmaker when I was in that business was, you got to make sure they pay, right? Because I know I have to pay. I'm going to pay, but are they going to pay? That's the first question. So once he paid the 40, I was like, okay, we have a relationship has started. Then it escalated pretty drastically. He wanted higher limits and da-da-da.
Yeah.
So then it got to, I believe, 200,000 credit line. And then he paid 200,000. So I'm like, okay.
He's good for it.
This
yeah.
is, he's honorable. Then he wanted 500,000. So I went to 500. Then he paid 500,000. I'm like, okay. So then he wanted $1 million and then $2 million. And it just kept growing. And I'm the one who was trying to calm him down the whole time. Literally. I mean, if you look at the text messages, which are all in public from the government, you'll see me capping him, saying, hey, let's slow down a little bit. I even tell him I will not extend him any more credit. I mean, once it was 24 million, which is absurd.
Yeah.
But it was only because if I gave him 100 million, he would have gambled it. So, at that point, I have a heart. I do feel bad for the human being, period. I mean, I'm greedy. I like money. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see people ruin their lives. I truly didn't. I never wanted that. There was a part of my job when I was in the business was, how do I keep this client from hanging themselves and enjoying this experience? Because it really is just, gambling.
It's a fine line,
it is. I mean, I want to make as much money as I can.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to sit there and act like I didn't, but I also want to keep the client long term, right? A casino won't just let you walk in or and say, hey, Zane, here's 200 million.
Yeah.
Go to town, knowing that they're just going to bury you financially, and they're not going to even see that money.
Yeah.
Unless this podcast starts making some serious cheese. And that's my point. So you have to really have that fine line. But to answer your question directly, I knew it was out of control, and I was trying to hone in as best I can.
Yeah.
But you want to give the guy an opportunity to win his money back.
Yeah.
It's really sad to take someone and just strap them after they're paying you and say,
Right.
You can't have any more credit.
Yeah.
You got to feed that addiction. And I know that being a gambler myself, I'm a degenerate. I love action.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was on both sides of the fence actually helped me understand their philosophy and their mind frame.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask him, where are you getting this money from, bro?
Never. I probably should have, but I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really want to know, is it Shohei? Is it Ippei? I mean, of course I wanted to know.
Yeah.
But I didn't,
Yeah, yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like you're dying to know, but you
Yeah,
don't
no.
want to know.
You know that if you get there, it could be, you're opening up a can of worms.
Yeah, like the answer may not be what you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this. We've all been there, right? Like you dated a girl in high school or afterwards or whatever, and are they cheating on you or are they not? Like you want to know because she's banging out on you. Same time, like, do you really want to know? Because you're going to want to snap the guy's neck, and then you can't do anything to her. So like,
Yeah.
and you like her or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
right.
like it's a
You're
door
stuck.
you don't want to know, but you do want to know.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
dude. In your heart of hearts, obviously this isn't gonna get released until you after whatever. In your heart of hearts, do you think Shohei was involved? Like he knew about it, maybe he was funding it.
I do. I think he knew Ippei had a gambling problem. I think he just helped him as a friend, and didn't know the extent of the friendship as far as how much he was taking from the
Yeah.
account. He's an interpreter. As they released a video, I'm sure you guys heard it, an audio of him calling the bank and acting as Shohei Ohtani.
Oof.
If you heard it or not, and it's requesting a wire transfer
Yeah.
to me. Now, that being said, he is an interpreter. He doesn't speak very good English, being Shohei. So that is his job anyway, but not to portray he's Shohei. His job is to help facilitate things. Now, did that happen like 6 months into this process? I don't know. I don't know when it
Yeah,
occurred.
yeah.
And did he, again, go back to what I said earlier? Did he like say, hey, I'm jammed up. I need a little dough.
Yeah.
Can I take an advancement on my money? Not saying how much it was. Those are the parts that are really in question. But I just don't believe that Shohei wasn't aware
Yeah.
of this situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the degree, of course. Maybe early on he knew, and then it just
Yeah.
escalated. And he's a wealthy guy.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he had two accounts. Right, one was for the Angels money that he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
salary, which was massive.
Yeah.
And then the other one was even more massive, the endorsement bank
Yeah.
account, which Ippei had no access to. Otherwise, he probably would have wired me more money.
Yeah.
But that's the account that I believe that Shohei lived on, or what. And again, I'm just assuming because I've been told
Yeah.
a lot of things, but that's, to me, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
he is a very, if you do any research on Shohei Ohtani, he's a most driven baseball player, period, ever. That's all he cares about. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't really do much. He doesn't go out. You never see him out doing anything. He's just a baseball player, period.
Yeah.
And that's rare, right?
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with that he's Japanese, doesn't speak English, and hasn't been kind of ruined like some of the athletes that we have here
Yeah.
by girls and drugs and alcohol and partying. And,
Yeah.
he wasn't doing any of those things. So I think he just had his head down and was just breaking records and crushing numbers and doing what he did, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is ironic that he had the best year of his life after this.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
won the World Series, which
Yeah.
is, kudos more to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it fueled him. Did you ever interact with Shohei?
Not really. I was around him. I would go to Angel games. I obviously was friends with
Yeah.
many of the players involved with my website. And we would go to spring training. We would go hang out. Not me and Shohei, but some of the players. I would go to the casinos after, gamble. We'd play golf
Yeah.
for money. And in that process, Shohei would be around. But A, he didn't speak English. B, I didn't speak Japanese. And
Yeah.
C, he also was quiet and kind
Right.
of doing his own thing. Again,
Yeah.
I have photos on my phone of me at the batting cages. He's
Yeah.
hitting baseballs inside under the ground in the stadium.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like we sat there and chummed it up. No, I wish.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
I don't want to glaze over what you just said, but you said that you work with other baseball players. Is that, and this is kind of like, I feel like there's in sports, especially when players start betting, there's like this huge, like, man, are they betting? Do we suspend them? Like
Right.
NFL guys get suspended all the time.
Of course.
Is that part of like a larger like gambling scene of professional athletes that maybe us, the fans, don't really see?
Yeah, you actually brought up something that's, I would say right now is the biggest problem in period in sports, and it's about to it's getting uglier. Did you guys hear about the Fresno State college kids and they just got popped in basketball,
No.
rigging games?
Oh,
It just happened like 3 weeks ago or whatever. Yeah, they were rigging games, and and believe me, it's happening. It's popping up now more than ever.
yeah.
NBA guys, you got Terry Rozier under a current investigation.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jonte Porter.
Yeah.
Just, and you have the baseball player from the Padres, who just got banned for life. I mean, there's so many of
Yeah.
them coming out. The problem is there's so many more that weren't discovered.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and there's more that's going to be discovered. And think about a college kid for a minute. You played football at San Jose State.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you didn't make it pro.
Yeah.
let's say you had the power of getting $1 million to, miss a couple passes or to ruin a game. Maybe you could still win the game, but have the outcome be San Jose State plus 17.
It's the under.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. I mean, you can, think about that. So that's life-changing for a guy who's never going to go in the NFL.
Right.
Never going to make huge money. I mean, unless they
You could have done it,
entrepreneur.
bro. I believe in you.
You could have. A couple of things swung the other way, but
No, I get it.
But as an entrepreneur, you have an opportunity in life. But
Totally.
it's much harder than being a pro athlete.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
So
Yeah.
do you always see I don't know if you like on ESPN late night sometimes they'll have these like bad beats that come
that's
on.
Scott Van Pelt's show.
Scott
Yeah,
Van
yeah,
Pelt,
yeah.
and they'll show like, dude, the most improbable things that could have happened to
Correct.
make the over or the under. Like, do you think that at a organizational level, the NBA, the NFL, MLB, do you think that maybe with the refs or however, because you just watch some of these things and there's like, bro, there's no way there's 17, there's no way this is gonna hit the over, right? Like, and then in the last 2 minutes, something insane happens.
Right.
Do you think there's any level of involvement?
Minimal.
Yeah.
I think the involvement would be more with a referee, which we've already Tim Donahue.
Yeah.
Donahue, whatever his last name is. You have, I'm sure, a few refs that are definitely doing some things they shouldn't be. Right. NFL throwing a flag on holding.
Right.
Yeah.
80-yard play comes back.
Yeah.
But player wise, I just don't. It's happening. You're seeing some of it. Right.
Yeah.
I think most of the players are smart enough to realize you're making millions and millions of dollars. So to go rig a one game here and there is just not worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier's really shocked me because he has a $90 million contract.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the low level guys. That's why I said college. But to answer your question, I do think it happens, but very minimal. I don't think the leagues are involved in anything like that. That's way too much to lose. Why would they do that?
Right.
Yeah.
But I will say this, tennis, because I was a bookmaker. Tennis, the rigging and the cheating that goes on in tennis is way out of control.
Really?
I watched it. I was part of it in a sense of not part of it, wrong word. I was a privy to it because people were betting through me, and I knew they're rigged tennis games, and I actually had to cut customers off because I got the information from sharp professionals that were betting through me that are getting the know, right?
Yeah.
And so tennis is different. If I hit a ball this far out in tennis, it's a lot harder to say you're cheating,
Right.
Because that happens all the time, and all they have to do is rig the match where they still win, and it's one-on-one. It's not a team sport.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Even if you're a quarterback, you could really ruin a game. But if you're a lineman, I mean, how are you going to rig a game?
Yeah.
And just let the guy come sack the quarterback?
Yeah.
They could still win.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, you'll be out of a job. I mean,
100%,
in those things,
dude.
it's so competitive. What's maybe I don't know if you have a story around this. What's maybe the craziest tennis thing that you've seen where it's like, dude, this was so obviously rigged?
I'll give you a better one. MMA, UFC.
Really?
Yes. I bet on this particular fight. I can't think of his name. You can Google it and look it up. It was an Asian guy fighting a white guy on a lower level UFC card, but it was UFC, and he got barred for life. He got caught, and so did the trainer because he was in on it too. They had from the story is they had a gambling debt with the bookmaker, and I think in the East Coast, and so they rigged the fight. And if you look at the odds of the fight, it went from the white guy, I can't think of his name, was like I'm gonna say plus 140 underdog to went off at almost a 200 favorite. Or it's the other way around, excuse me, the Asian guy. So the swing of the line was drastic. The reason why is obviously everyone knew, well, not everyone, a lot of people knew it was rigged.
Yeah.
So they just started firing money on him like crazy throughout the country, right? So when that happens, the line's got to move.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get two-way action, trying to get people to bet the other side.
Right.
Well, if you watch the fight, which if you guys Google what I'm telling you and you go look it up, it just put rigged UFC banned or whatever, you'll see that it's a very good acting job. I mean, it happens fast. In I don't know 40 seconds, the guy gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And it's pretty bad acting in my opinion. But you and I could roll around and wrestle.
Yeah.
And I could put on a little better performance of acting like I'm trying to fight. Than that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: there was prop bets. Knockout, first round. I mean, there's so many things that were factored into this.
Yeah.
But the poor guy is out of the UFC for life, and he had a big. I don't know if it's him or the trainer had a big gambling debt, and this is their way out, right?
Yeah.
It's tempting, it's hard.
Yeah.
You can make more money fast, and he's thinking. I'm sure in his mind, I can't speak for him, but hey, it's just one fight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a UFC champion.
Right.
I'm never going to be UFC champion. I'm sure he knew that because clearly, you know, his record was like 15-15 or something or whatever. So it's not like he's, I'm going to be a champion. You know, he was a little bit older. Probably knew he only had like 5-6 fights left in the UFC at best. Let's make some money on the way out, or more importantly, pay off a debt that had just occurred.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's wild,
Dude,
dude.
that one was very obvious.
So you ended up on the right side of that one?
I did because I had the pros giving me the information.
Yeah.
They want. Here's what they do. They call you up and say, look, we have some information. We want you, before I give it to you, you have to guarantee us $20,000 down on the fight, right? And they do this with multiple places. The reason I say that is I can't promise to bet $500,000 on a UFC fight. I can't get that down with bookmakers. It's a UFC. It's harder.
Yeah.
If it's an NFL game, different story. I can bet millions on that.
Yeah.
But a UFC fight is much harder to get down, or a tennis match, right? Because bookies don't take as big on that stuff because it's not as much action. So especially some undercard fight, you know, some no-namers, not like a championship fight. And the reason that bookmakers do that is because they know that the rig opportunities are more plausible, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they will just say, look, you guarantee me 20, I'll give you this fight. Basically, I don't even ask. I don't need to ask. I already know what.
Yeah.
Either it's rigged or the numbers on the information they have on this fight is so good, meaning that because they run algorithms.
Right.
Your handicapping edge is drastic. But in this
Yeah.
case, I was told it was rigged.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I tried to get as much money down as I could. I got like 50 down, but I had to give them 20 of it. Long story short, that information is very rare. It's tennis mostly, and then the UFC, that happened once. But their job is they won't give you the information until you guarantee, basically you're giving them 20 grand for the information.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm
Yeah.
going to go get down, as much as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
for
it's,
sure.
and it's a win-win across the
Yeah.
board.
It is,
Yeah.
unless I can't get more than 20 down.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard because once the no gets out, like
Yeah.
when the line moves that much, other bookies are going to be like, pfft, or they may not pay you.
Yeah.
And I understand because I've had that situation where
Yeah.
I have a customer betting a rigged match through me. It's more personal. Like we have a relationship, right? You're
Right.
my client.
Yeah.
If you're trying to fuck me over by betting a rigged fight
Yeah.
for me, that's a problem. That's
Right.
what's,
Yeah.
it's a kind of an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
Like I provide a service, but you want to bet sports, you want to do these things, no problem, but it's going to be fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But here I am doing the same thing myself. So it's hard,
Yeah.
I'm taking advantage of the situation too. But I would only do that through bookmakers that I disliked or didn't care about or,
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't
care if you burned the bridge.
Yeah, like they probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have been bookmakers to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, you've had a lot of interaction now with the FBI.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
When they see the line move that much, I'm sure they've got people all over that
Yeah.
stuff now, right? Or
Actually, it's usually sports books that are going to them when they see, because sports book's not going to go do the investigation. The FBI is, right? So they'll notify. They have like departments for this when the line moves drastically. That's how all these guys get caught. Arizona State scandal back in the 80s or whatever, where these guys were rigging multiple games. It's funny. You would see like the average handle in a game, just as an example. Let's say it's 20 million on throughout the country, whatever, 2 million, doesn't matter what the number is. And all of a sudden on this particular game,
Yeah.
it's 10 times that. And then it's every week.
Yeah.
And then it's either that team or the team they're playing. I mean, what other red flags do you have here?
Yeah.
So these guys are idiots. They're betting it
Yeah.
through. If you go watch the documentary on the Arizona State scandal, they're betting it through casinos. That's the first mistake they made. If you're going to try to get away with something like that, you should be betting with illegal bookmakers.
right.
Yeah.
They're not going to report the FBI. They're not going
Right.
to report to anybody.
Right.
They're just going to pay you or not pay you and move on because they can't go to the FBI and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm running an illegal operation. These guys are cheating."
Yeah.
So these guys went to the casinos and made these
Yeah.
bets, and I understand why, because it's easy. They're guaranteed to get paid, but
Right.
that greed is what cost them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is, and we've talked a lot about this, but gambling's only just going to get worse in this country, and
Right.
I think that's why you see FanDuel, you see all these other. They're trying to capitalize on this opportunity.
Sure.
How does it get? I mean, we see it, and not to make it a different topic, but you see it like almost with like abortion too.
Right.
Like the more legalized it becomes, it starts to open up other things, or the more illegal it becomes, then it can kind of make it more dangerous in certain areas.
Of course.
What's kind of your thought process on how does this gambling thing continue to widespread across the country in a safer way?
It's just tough. The epidemic that's occurring right now, the problem is these young kids, like high school to, because they're all doing it now, to college. And let's be honest, like, you guys were in college, you know, when you're 19, 20 and you're broke, you're in school, you want additional money to go party or floss with your chicks in college or whatever. Gambling is a quick resource to make money fast. Of course, you're going to end up losing most likely. But the point is, like, you know, if you catch a score for a 20-year-old kid and he makes, I call it a score, it might be $1,000 when you're in college. That's a lot of money to a kid, right?
Yeah.
5,000, whatever the number is. Then they think they could do that all the time.
Yeah.
And now they're burning through their parents' money, not paying their tuition, not paying their rent or whatever. And those problems are occurring as we speak throughout the country.
Yeah.
And it's because it's legal now. So now in most states, now that it's legal, it's not taboo anymore.
Yeah.
Before, it's like these kids would be like, oh, it's illegal. It wasn't in their face every 2 minutes. Now you have LeBron James, Kevin Hart promoting this stuff. These are guys, these are idols to them, man.
Yeah.
You know, they look up to LeBron James.
Yeah.
Whatever he does, they want to do.
Yeah.
And if he's sitting there talking about his, you know, DraftKings and FanDuel, and he's getting paid to do it, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But what is the message there? The message is this is totally fine. And gambling is fine if you can control it and if you have fun and it's entertainment. You know, I always tell people, the ones who can't control it, i.e. me, I've lost way more money than I could afford to lose many times. But I've had the business to back it up. Most people don't.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And a college kid is going to blow through money that, you know, they need to eat and take care of things and probably not tell their parents because they're embarrassed or don't want to tell them about the problem. Now they've created a gambling problem that's going to affect them the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Because that's all it takes. You know, there's so many people been through it. And gambling is the worst disease, I call it, because, you know, alcohol and drugs are very obvious, right?
Yeah.
If you're high right now, everyone on camera could see it.
Yeah.
If you're drunk, I mean, you start slurring your words and
100%.
gambling. You could have a game right now and have $1 million on it and be sweating it, but hide it because you're not even looking at the scores or whatever. And then you might go to the bathroom and check the score and be shitting your pants, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't show it.
Yeah.
You're hiding it, right? The emotion. That's the problem with this. It's very easy to hide. And, you know, that's where I'm worried about the future of it. To answer your question, though, I don't really know what the answer is, you know, because making it legal is a positive in some ways. Taxpayers and, you know, these companies and government is going to make a lot of money, so that's positive for them. But how do you control these younger people, I call it, because they're really 18 to 25 is the age that's going to be a problem because they're developing a really bad addiction.
Is there ways for like high school kids to circumvent the age part in some of these other apps?
For sure.
I guess, you know, maybe that's...
No, it's a great question.
You know, like
some of the dads will open an account for them, you know, or friends who are 18 or cousins or uncles or whatever. I mean, you know, because they look at it like it's not a problem, right? The guy's betting $20 on an app. The money is posted up front. So that's one positive of legal gambling, right? They're not going to bury themselves as much as they could with a bookmaker, a legal one, because a legal bookmaker doesn't really know the personal insights of the client all the time.
Yeah.
And if they're lying, then we don't know if they're lying.
Yeah.
Right. So a kid might tell you, "Oh yeah, give me a $2,000 credit line," knowing he only has $500 to his name. But with DraftKings, at least he has to put up the $500. So it kind of controls that a little bit. But then they start stealing or lying to their whoever, or borrowing or whatever, and then the problems are still there.
Yeah.
With a legal bookmaker, you know, you try to control that credit line anyway. So it's you can argue both sides of this. But either way, you're correct. Like the underage people are still doing it too.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, like if you go to a Super Bowl party, great example, everyone there is betting on squares. They're all gambling.
Yeah.
You go to a golf course, people are betting $1 a hole, $10, 20, thousands. Everywhere gambling is present, you know?
Yeah.
And most people gamble to a degree of some sort, you know? There's very few people that don't gamble at all on anything ever.
Yeah.
It happens, but that's just because they don't have that fix in them. But most people gamble on something.
Yeah. What's the most ludicrous thing that somebody's bet on through you, maybe?
I bet 50,000 on actually it's 40,000 on a 40-yard dash on the golf course.
And it was you. You were the one running it.
And you were the one running.
Dude, you got to see this guy's calves. I don't know if we can pull that up on camera, but this guy's got the calves of all calves.
I might be 50 in 2-3 weeks, but I can run.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fast. I was a pretty good athlete. So There's a guy, Michael knows him. His name's Owen Hansen. He played USC football. He was like third string, didn't play much, but good athlete.
Yeah.
He was on the volleyball team.
National champion.
Yeah, and that's why he didn't play much. He's on the best team in the country.
Yeah.
And he's a very athletic guy. He's 7 years younger than me, and so we're golfing. We're playing like 30, 40,000 a hole, and we're just bantering, talking shit like always. And I know I'm fast, but he's tall. He's like 6'4". He's got long legs. Michael knows. And I said, hey, man, I think I was losing in golf to him. I was kind of pissed. I want to turn the edge. I'm not a good golfer, but I'll gamble.
Is anybody really a good golfer? I mean, if you're a good golfer, you're on the tour, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not good at all. I'm like a 16 index, so I shoot 90s. You know,
Gotcha.
My average score is like a 95.
Gotcha.
So some guys will shoot at least an 80 or something. So anyway, I'm losing. So I said, hey, we're talking shit or something about football. I'm like, you were no good. You didn't even play.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah. And I said, well, fuck, I can beat you in a race. I'm fucking older than you too. And he's like, yeah, right. I said, well, let's bet on it. We'll bet the next. We're betting 40,000 a hole. Let's just bet 40,000 on a little quick little race. By the way, distance-wise, I'm not great. 100-yard dash, he probably would have won. So because he was closing the gap a little bit, but I'm really quick off the start.
Yeah.
So 40-yard dash, we lined it up, put a club. Had a guy with a club 40 yards away, and right in the middle of the fairway, took off our shoes and raced. Right there at Shadow Creek in Las Vegas. I smoked him, but he did narrow the gap at the end to the point where if it was 100, I think I was toast.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't have bet 100, to be honest.
He's got those strides.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean,
that's exactly what it is.
He gets the strides. Well, the other thing too is just to talk about the gambling a little bit more. As it's becoming less taboo, do you see a pathway where like kind of like with weed, how weed became less taboo? Now you see a lot more dispensaries open. You see that. Do you see a pathway where illegal bookmakers now, like maybe 10, 15, 20 years down the road, now maybe people do have their own books and people are legally able to do that? Or how do you think that plays out?
Here's the problem with that. If that's really was the case, if it was going to be like weed, where they allowed you, Zane, or myself, a guy who, a regular Joe, let's call it, could open a sports book, then I would be more for it. But the fact is they don't. They only let conglomerates like DraftKings and FanDuel and MGM open these sports books. Go look at all the states it's legal. I think it's 38. There's no mom and pop shops. Yeah. They're not allowing it. They won't give them a license. They're controlling it because they have such a high piece of it. It's not fair.
Yeah.
And it would be much more fair. I understand, by the way, like, you have to make sure that a mom and pop shop can afford the action they're taking.
Sure.
But that's why you have bonds for these things, right? So they put up a certain amount of money. They control, like they can only take an amount of bets that they have based on in their bank account, right? So that nobody gets stiffed. No players make bets and don't get paid. That's govern that, no problem. But allow regular Joes to do this. It's not fair to box it into these corporations, these conglomerates. So to answer your question, I mean, I think it's bullshit the way they're doing it now. And that's why illegal bookmakers will always be on the streets, and they're never going to get rid of them. I mean, they're going to bust them and do what they're doing to me, but they can't. There's so many. There's seriously a million bookmakers.
Oh yeah, there's just not as big as you were to get
Correct.
caught.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that like, what's their reasoning behind that? Is it just greed? I think they'll probably try to portray it like it's a big moral thing to try to protect people. But what do you think?
I think it's greed because let's be real. Like if you govern it correctly, and there's a licensed bond, just like they do. My parents were bail bondsmen when I grew up, right? And they couldn't bail someone out of jail without having a surety bond, so that if the person skips bail, that my parents' company would be able to pay for the bond to cover the guy skipping bail. So if my dad wanted to write $1 million bond on some murder or whatever the case is, if he didn't have the money to cover it, we couldn't write the bond. It should be no different for this. Like, you can't take a $1 million wager if you only have, let's say in that case, you'd have to have a ton of money, and at least probably $100 million in a bond, but because that's just one bet. But, you can allow a guy to bet $5,000 and have $2 million in a bond and control it and govern it. There's a way to do that. It's easy.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it though.
Yeah.
It's greed.
Yeah. Well, they say that too much of anything is bad. Too much even of a good thing is bad. And obviously we talk a lot about confidence and self-belief and all of that. But where does that line start to haze from I'm confident, I've always believed in myself? You hear that phrase a lot, I can bet on myself, or I will always bet on myself.
Right.
When does that become toxic and start to turn into problems for people?
Balance is the key in life, right? I struggle with balance. I'm overly confident in myself to the point where that's probably why I'm sitting here today, right, with this problem. But I would rather be overconfident and over exude confidence in myself than under. That being said, the fine line to answer your question, it's hard because the more confident you believe in yourself and the more you push yourself and the more you ask of yourself, I think the further you go in life. But you have to have some sort of governor in the back of your head of like, okay, even humbleness, like, because as I had moments, I had 12 million in cash, literally cash, and multiple assets and all kinds of things, right? And in my mind, I was like, I could shut it down right now. I was 40 years old. This is 9 years ago. I could shut it down right now and put some money to work and never work the rest of my life. And I won't live like crazy. I'm not going to be a celebrity athlete, but it's a pretty good lifestyle. But I thought, I'm going to make 200 million. I was I was driving a Rolls Royce and a Ferrari and all these things. I'm like, and I wanted a yacht now. I wanted an airplane. So that's the problem is, if you are a guy who, never sees like being present in the moment of what you have or where you're at, which I am much better at now. I think you can overdriven yourself to the point where you actually hurt yourself, right? Which ego, in my jiu-jitsu studio, when you turn on the lights, there's a neon light that says, "My ego is my enemy." And I think that's such a great quote because I think we all struggle with that. Most people struggle the other way. It's, they're down on themselves or negative or whatever. But the ones who are really highly successful people, I think the ego gets in our way the most. I always envy a guy who looks homeless. He's worth like $1 billion, drives a Prius, can give a flying shit about material things. I all the kudos to that guy. I have an ego, so I love nice things.
Yeah.
I like nice trips. I want to stay at the Ritz-Carlton, not Holiday Inn.
Right.
I want to enjoy those things. Part of it's ego, right? I mean, I have a nice watch on, right? Why do I have a nice watch? Well, because I think it looks good. It doesn't even tell the right time. It really doesn't. I mean, if you don't wind it properly, people ask me all the time. I'm like, let me look at my phone.
Yeah.
So why are you even wearing this thing?
Yeah.
It's because I think it looks good.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad, but I own it.
Yeah.
I drive a Rolls Royce. I miss it. I don't have it anymore, right? People ask me, well, it's just material things. Yeah, you're right. But it makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
That's an insecurity. But you have to own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I own it more now than I ever have, but I will own those things again. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not going to go out and get those things. I will.
Yeah.
And why? Because I have an ego.
Yeah.
And I still can't check it completely. But I also believe there's the positive of that, because if you don't have a little bit of that drive or that ego, maybe it's for the wrong reasons sometimes, but you have to have something that motivates you.
Yeah.
To me, I already have everything else. I have a beautiful family. I have an amazing wife. I have a nice home. So what other purposes do you have? You have to define your purpose in life.
Yeah.
This is the biggest struggle with people in general. What is your purpose? Define your purpose, right? And until you get older, I don't believe most people can figure it out.
Yeah.
The younger you are and the sooner you find out, the more successful your life will be.
What would you say yours is right now?
Mine is just being a great father, being a great husband, just being a great person. It's always been that, but I've been jaded with other things throughout that process,
Yeah.
So like, I want to make an impression on my life. I want to leave a legacy to my children. I want people to, like, when I'm over, I'm 6 feet under, they're sitting over my grave going, that guy was a fucking bananas wild motherfucker. But, I really am so thankful that I got to be part of his life.
Yeah.
Not because he made a lot of money or did all these things. It's because, he was driven. He was a great person. He was great to me. We had relationships.
Yeah.
To me, like, I spent a lot of my money. I fucked off so much of my money, right? Truly. But I've done it all. I can't take the memories away. I've been everywhere. My wife and I have done everything possible, like almost more than a rock star, truly. I've been on probably, I don't know, my son's 2 years old, 3 now. I've been on 44 private jets. I've probably been on 400 of them in my life. I played golf with Charles Barkley, Travis Kelce. I've been to Super Bowls. I bet $4.6 million on a football game. I've hung out. Kid Rock was riding a ramp I was in a villa at the Mirage, and he was in the room across from us. And they were riding a skateboard ramp in the backyard over a pool. And they were doing drugs and everything else, but they wanted to be in our villa. And I'm just a regular Joe. Like, they kept trying to come in our room because we had more of a party. Not even drugs. I never got into drugs, but like just more fun.
Yeah.
Like, I had an entourage of people. We just lived life to the fullest. And some people have a lot of things, but they don't have that. They don't have that just happiness,
Yeah.
pure joy, right? And that's what I try to find every day is just how is every day better? How do I grow? How do I become more happy or joy?
Yeah.
I think the word happy is temporary. The word joy to me means more than everything, because when you truly are living in joy, it's not happiness is like a feeling you get when you do something you like, right?
Yeah.
But joy is like where you every day you actually it's not even a temporary moment. It's like I'm just feel good about my life and myself. And so that's my plan at this point is just how do I feel the most joyous I can be every day, and then provide that same thing to my kids.
Yeah.
And then also I like to show them, when their dad is going through something, how does he handle it?
Yeah.
Does he run from the fire? Is he a little bitch? Or does he run into the fire and be resilient,
Yeah.
recalibrate, which is the name of my book, right?
Yeah.
And I want people who can learn from me or get a better mindset to be like, when you get knocked down, we all say this, dust yourself off, of course, right? But you really need to like embrace the knockdown.
Yeah.
That's the problem. People like get knocked down and they go into depression, they sulk, they dive into drugs, alcohol, whatever. And I understand all those, Xanax, whatever,
Yeah.
right? I chose not to do that because I know that the minute I lean into that, I have addiction problem anyway. I'm probably going to be the guy that's, just popping pills and
Strung out.
and I see how people do it. But if you choose to like, when the little devil's in the back of your head, right? We all have it. And it's like, you're doing something you shouldn't. It's dark, right?
Yeah.
You got to fight it, man. You got to look into that fucker and say, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking make a better choice right now. And the rule that I think everybody should live by is the 10-10-10 rule, which is you have to make any major decisions in your life, 10 days, 10 months, 10 years. How does this decision affect me in those three categories? And if you do that, you will make so much more better decisions. You're still going to make poor ones. That's normal. But if you really actually think about anything you're about to do that's semi-major, especially, if you lay it out, you will really make better choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, I've seen you live out that rule. And again, you're in a very interesting situation right now where you're kind of handcuffed with how much money you can make or how you can make money, and it's it's different than you have in the past. Have you ever thought about, I know that you don't really live with regrets, but have you ever thought about, man, dude, what could I have applied myself to legally? Because I believe, dude, if you could have been a Fortune 100 CEO, or you could have done some of these other things. Like, have you ever thought about, like, man, if I would have just applied this to this business, like, dude, I probably had maybe this similar lifestyle. But have you ever had those thoughts?
Yes. My wife, if she was here, she would tell you, I think you've heard us talk about this. The last 3 years before I got in trouble, I would always tell her, I said, I feel like a failure. And yet I was making more money than I ever made. And we had all these things and it was empty. And the emptiness wasn't, it was the emptiness of like knowing I was in the wrong field of what, and don't get me wrong, I love being a bookmaker. I love gambling, but it was empty because I knew I could have done so much more. And instead of like doing something about it, I was so saturated in this lifestyle and so content that I just never reached out and did something bigger and more powerful. That's why I was so happy the FBI came and visited me in October 5th, because it was like, it's forcing me to recalibrate. It's forcing my hand, right? And I always tell people, like, when you're at that position where you're on a cliff and you're looking down, we all struggle with that, right? And just fucking jump. Not to kill yourself.
Right,
Let me restructure that.
You're cliff diving.
Yeah.
Cliff diving. Cliff diving.
But jump
There's
to
water
make,
down there.
to make a decision and take some risk in your life, positive risk,
Right.
Risk that you've thought about, the 10-10-10.
Yeah.
And make that decision, because the minute you step back, you're going to regret that you didn't make that decision.
Yeah.
But to your point, I was the number one sales kid for the Orange County Register when I was 14. I broke every record in the county, right? So everything I've ever done, I've conquered. Then I was the number one commodity retail broker in the world for 10 years. When I was 26 years old, it's in my book, I was living in, Aliso Viejo, California, running a commodities firm. And I hired about 50 kids from my high school, brought them all in. We were making $500,000, $1 million a year. At 21, I bought a home, the home I grew up in. My parents lost it. So I went back and bought it, lived in there for about a year. And that was like a milestone for me. 21 years old, I made $1 million. I was buying a house, gambling very high, started taking big bets. So I thought I was like conquering the world, right? And technically I was in my mind, because this is all I wanted to do, was buy the house that my parents lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so personal, right? So of course, when you achieve those goals, then you have new ones, right? But you got to learn to be present at those times and appreciate where you're at. Because if you look at your life now and you think even when you're miserable or you're having a bad day, if you go back, you like 6 years, 6 months, whatever, if you say, I'm going to be there, at that moment, you would do anything to be there.
Yeah.
Where you're in a bad moment. So you don't really stop and recognize that sometimes.
Yeah.
But when I was 26, I moved to Chicago for 6 months. They asked me to move, and I hated it. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to live in Chicago.
Yeah.
I made the best of it, but I walked into this company. It's called Lind Waldock. They were the biggest discount commodity firm in the world. And there was about 600 employees. And I'm 26 years old. And they bring me up in this board meeting, and all these guys are twice my age. They've been doing this longer than I've been alive, right? And I'm a commodity broker. I'm a sales guy. So I'm going to teach these guys how to sell. Okay? So you can imagine their thought pattern, right?
Yeah, they're like, wait,
fucking this guy's even have hair in his balls yet in their mind,
Yeah.
So I get up there, and this is what I said. I said, listen, I'm not going to tell you that I can outsell you or that I'm better than you. I'm going to prove it to you. So go to your desk and grab 10 leads of the dog shit that you can't close. And on Saturday morning, when there's no phones ringing, and there's the hardest time to sales call. Saturday morning, back then, there was no internet. But you're calling home phones. And Saturday, people don't want to talk business, right? So I said, let me prove it to you. So I'm going to put on the intercom. You guys sit at your desk and you just laugh at me. You can see how good I am. Proof's in the pudding, right? And they looked at me like, this fucking kid is arrogant.
Insane, yeah.
And I was. So they went to their desk, and then Saturday morning, I grabbed the fucking leads, and you could see all the notes in the leads are just crossed out, hung up on me, fuck you. I mean, these are the comments they're getting, right? So I start calling, and of course I'm getting hung up on, fuck you, but I just keep pounding away, right? And they would give up much sooner. So what I taught them was, I ended up closing 3 deals, 180,000 brought in commodities, which is a lot, because stocks is different. It's like 10 to 20 times per amount, right? So when I closed these deals, one of them in particular was a guy in Green Bay. I'll never forget about it, right? And he's, so the guy's like, and I said, hey, Frank, whatever his name was, this is Matt from Lind Waldock. And I said, do you remember talking to me 6 months ago? And he's like, no. And of course I'm lying. I never spoke to the guy in my life. And I said, yeah, we're talking about the weather and, how cold it is. What's it like in Wisconsin? And he's trying to get me off the phone. So I'm just changing, direction. And, as we're speaking, he's starting to come around because I'm talking about Brett Favre and the Packers. This is a long time ago. And the weather in Green, I've never been to Lambeau Field, and kind of just shooting the shit, right?
Stroking the ego a little bit.
Well, the guard is dropping because that's the key in sales. You got to drop their guard. Get them to resonate with who you are. I always mirrored the customer. People, we all are suckers. Especially sales guys. We buy off people we like.
Totally. Sales guys are the most susceptible to getting sold.
100%. Because you actually look at the guy and you're like, this motherfucker's me, and he's doing what I do.
And he's good.
Yeah.
Never get sold by a bad salesman.
No, and
never.
you feel bad because the guy's so good, it's like you want to give him the business, and now you're buying something you probably don't even want.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. So I dropped his guard. We're talking for a while, and then I said, listen, at the end of the day, I've been chasing you for 6 months now, and all I'm asking you to do is give me an opportunity. I just want you to just open an account. Let me show you what I can do. And if you don't like it after 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 months, whatever, just close your account. So he ends up opening the account. These guys were fucking cheering me on. I had all the respect because I just closed 3 deals of dog shit. And they realized that it's not only just persistence, but it's the approach I took.
Yeah.
And so they learned something. And some of them probably thought they were better than me anyway. It doesn't matter. But we ended up tripling their numbers. I was out of there in 6 months. I was supposed to be there a year. And it was a great experience for me.
Yeah.
But back to what we're talking about, I definitely missed my calling. And it's not too late. So I'm doing it now. I'll be 50, but 50 is the new 40.
Yeah, bro.
I got a 20-year run before I'm sitting on a beach, hopefully very wealthy. And, fucking just walking around, just revisiting my life and saying, wow, look what I did, which is what I'm trying to show my kids,
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, you mentioned earlier that there was a time when you were like early 40s, 12 million in cash, you have other assets, you're thinking about all of the things that you want, jets, a yacht, everything. You're a great salesman. Do you think what you know now, going back to that 40-year-old Matt, could you sell yourself into being okay with what you have?
No, my ego was too big. Yeah, I definitely, I would have listened.
Yeah,
but it would have went one ear out the other.
Yeah.
I was too cocky, too arrogant. My ego was way too big. I was too insecure inside.
Yeah.
And I thought I was unstoppable.
Yeah.
So I would have sold myself hard and maybe tried to even make some other decisions, like with some of the money that would have, still put me in a better spot. Let's call it. But no, I wouldn't have listened.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up, dude, you've mentioned your own insecurity several times. And you always see guys like Michael Jordan,
Right.
had a huge chip on his shoulder. He would make up stuff about what other people were saying just so that he could prove them wrong.
Right.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. You see a lot of these guys, we talked about this before. The same drive and obsession that got Tom Brady to win 7 Super Bowls is the same obsession that maybe took him one season too long in his career.
Right.
Lost his marriage. Now he's splitting time with his kids. For you, where do you think that insecurity comes from?
I think just being competitive, man. And I mean, maybe it's the way we're raised. It's hard to say. I definitely have insecurity issues though, because even to this day, I still feel like I'm fat at moments. I still feel like, I could be better.
Just because 10% body fat or something?
I do, but I had 4%. 4.4 was my lowest, right? So you're always competing against yourself, right? And I think that's healthy, but sometimes a little too far. You got to be realistic, dude. I'm fucking 50, man.
Yeah.
But my wife is beautiful. She's 12 years younger. And, insecurity for me is fuck, man, I'm putting her through hell. Is she going to just check out the 30-year-old hunk that's now got a real job and a real company that I should have done, But that's normal. I think it's healthy to challenge yourself in that way, but I don't really know the answer to that. I think I'll be searching that the rest of my life, sadly, because, I've gotten better with it, but I think we all have them, right? Some are just better at, owning their own shit or not being so prudent to proving to the world. My idea now of my insecurities come from more like a fuck you to the people that doubt me and question me and, see me get knocked down and think I'm just going to stay down. That's it's not so much, I do want the cars. I do want all the bullshit back. I do, but it's not even for driving it anymore. It's now like a fuck you.
It's like a signal of dude, I proved you wrong.
Yeah. And sadly, I shouldn't even have that. It should be about myself and my family and my friends, but I got to own it, man. It's not.
Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if those people didn't exist, would you still have the same drive? If the people that, what I mean by that,
me?
that
the
question
haters?
you, the haters, the people that you want to prove wrong, if those people weren't there, would you still be the same Matt?
It's a great question. Thinking about it, I would say yes, but way less degree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be as driven.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it would be 70, 80% maybe.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the case with Brady and all these other guys too, right? If they didn't have
they have to
that.
manufacture that stuff.
They had haters too, though.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they.
But you're right.
didn't.
They manufacture it in their own way, and I do too, man. I'm like, why don't I have a plane? I could have had a plane.
Yeah.
And
I'm not good enough to have a plane.
yeah, and that sounds really obnoxious.
Yeah. No, I get it. I
It
get
is, but why not?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. In life, you have to be a guy, at least to be ultra successful, that does question yourself about shit like that. You can't think so small. And that's the problem with people. They think so small. Whatever your goals are, I don't know them, Zach. I just met you, but why not think bigger?
Yeah.
Why box yourself?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying being ridiculous. It's not like you're gonna, I'm gonna make $100 million next year. I mean, that's fucking stupid. Yeah. I hope it happens, but let's be realistic.
Yeah.
And you have to have some sort of plan to get where your goals are, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone's I just call them dreamers. We all have dreams, and you should, but you can't dream about your basic necessities of where you're going in your life.
Yeah.
You have to have a plan of action. They have to be goals. There's a big difference between goals and dreams. And most people just dream.
Yeah.
And even when they say their goals, they're dreams. They have no plan of how to get there.
Yeah.
They have no steps or measures they're taking. It could be, for me, it's dieting, I do it all the time. I'll go clean for 3 weeks and then I start drinking Celsius and eating bread or whatever.
Yeah.
It's what are you doing? But then it's a fine line. Do you want to enjoy your life?
Right.
Do I want to go out to dinner and be like that guy that doesn't have a cocktail?
Right.
Dude, he has one plate of fettuccine Alfredo, and it's gosh dang it, dude, I'm here again.
Well, for me though,
I'm here
here's
again.
the
Is that
the
your
hard
vice, fettuccine Alfredo?
No, but my vice is this. Once I dip into carbs, then I just cheated. So now I just keep eating it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's that whole cycle, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Whereas, okay, hey, I had a cheat meal. Okay, it's over. Move on. Have another clean week.
Yeah.
That's a struggle.
Yeah.
is you think back about, you know, whatever, how old you were when you were selling the Orange County Register and you're winning all these. If you had to visualize where you would be at 50, you know, take away, you know, you're under investigation, all the other things. I'm talking about material success. Did you visualize where you were at way back then?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did.
I mean, where did that come from? I know you're a little bit of your story, dude. Like, you didn't grow up around money.
Right.
You know, you were kind of like middle class, and then you had some things happen. But, like, where do you think that came from?
I think I got that as a gene from my dad, man. He was an entrepreneur. He just fucked his whole life up by becoming an alcoholic and drinking 30 to 40 beers a day and just ruined his life. You know, he died at 55. But his alcoholism overcame all his entrepreneur skills to the point where, you know, he just lost it. But he was driven. He was very successful. We were middle class, but upper middle class as far as the amount of money he made. So, and I think I just had that times 100 within myself. And then also what differentiated me from maybe my dad or others was when I was 12, we lost everything, you know, truly. Like, and now we were the poor kids. And when I was 18, I got my ex-wife pregnant and didn't even have a job. And so we moved my mom lost her home, and then she moved into a double-wide mobile home in Dana Point, California. And it was 2 bedrooms. And now I moved in with my ex-wife. We're sleeping on the couch because there was no bedrooms. My little brother was in one and my mom in the other. So I'm sleeping on a couch. I'm 18. I don't have a job, and my ex-wife's pregnant.
Yeah.
So now it's like,
Reality's
here we
sinking
go.
in.
Now you got to fucking grow up fast, be a man. So that's what happened to me. I just dove into that, like ran like a fire, you know, like it was, like I said, I use that term because it's so true. Like everybody runs from the fire. And I just, you're running from a fire that's going to come get you. That's the difference. So run from a fire so you don't kill yourself or burn, but run into the fire if it's coming, no matter what. Don't delay it. I used to do this in commodities. When a guy would lose, I would have him lose by my recommendations, bunch of soybeans or pork belly, whatever contracts I got him in. And lost him money, and I had to have that miserable phone call. You know, hey, you know, you just lost $100,000. I need you to send me more money and calm down the situation. Most commodity traders, stock traders too, they can't even make that phone call, so they wait for the client to call. Like, and then when the client calls, he's twice as upset, right?
Right.
So the minute it would happen, I would just dial the guy's number.
Yeah.
And now I'm forced to deal with it. There's no more prolonging the inevitable, which is why I'm struggling today, because I have no control, and I can't just go to the judge and say, "Give me, put me on the cross. Let's go."
Yeah.
So I would always do that, and I don't care what mood I was in or how bad this call was. I'd just get it over with. And I felt so much better just dealing with it, right?
Yeah.
Because the unknown really drives me crazy. I'll give you a funny story. I got in a fist fight when I was 16. This guy, a senior, I was a sophomore. I was chasing this girl, and she has big old boobs, and I wanted her. And I was tiny in high school. I was the smallest kid in the school. I graduated 135 pounds.
Wow.
I wrestled my freshman year.
Yeah.
I weighed 89 pounds.
Oh
So I wrestled.
Dude, my gosh.
Yeah, the weight class was 98 back then, and now it's 103.
Bro, this guy was all calves at 89 pounds.
I was tiny, but I was like, for an 89-year-old kid, I had muscle actually.
Yeah.
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 Like a little bit of
Wiry.
muscle.
Yeah,
That's
just
why
wiry,
I was
yeah.
then.
There it is.
Right? So I got worked. I made varsity, and I was 9-27 my freshman year. I mean, I was wrestling. Seniors have been, wrestling for 4 years, so I just got torqued. But I would man up, and I'd fucking lose, and I'd say, "I'll fucking fight you, motherfucker," because I was so mad I didn't know how to wrestle. They had all this experience. But so anyway, long story short, I for whatever reason, this guy swooped this chick for me that wasn't even my chick, but in my mind, she was my chick because I wanted her. So I had 2 older brothers, so I always had that. If I get in a brawl, I got my brothers to back me up. I was that bitch.
Yeah.
So I go to this party, I'm wasted, and I'm picking a fight with this guy. He's like 6 foot, skinny, and I'm not joking, I'm like 5'2", okay? And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm trying to pick a fight with him. Little do I know that, number one, he's going to beat my ass anyway. He's 2 years older, probably 10 times more developed than me. I'm a fucking little boy.
Yeah.
But I was a scrapper, so long story short, he's like, look, man, I don't want to deal with your brothers, man. So basically, he's like, I'll fuck you up, bitch, but your brothers are going to fuck me up because I had some tough brothers. So I said, all right, oh, yeah, bitch. So I turn around like I'm walking away, and I just fucking reach up and just drill him right in the nose, just pop his nose, right? So we go to the ground, and I'm a wrestler, so I have control. And somehow, because I'm drunk, he flips me over, and he's about to just start. I mean, he has me in
Wailing
a
on
bad
you.
spot.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
about to get fucking worked. Here comes my friends. They just kick him in the face and just maul this guy, right?
Yeah.
Which is really bullshit,
Yeah.
cheesy move. But they had my back. So I'm so out of it. There's dirt everywhere. There's blood all over. Not mine. Didn't even get punched. I'm in the bathroom. I got these 2 hot girls cleaning the blood off me. It's not mine. And I'm like, this is cool. I come back out and this dude's laid out. He's out. They just rolled him. I felt so bad, truly. The next day I called him. And I said, look, man, I feel like a bitch. Not only were you about to put some damage on me, which I deserve, I said, when I see you next, I'm uncomfortable because you're probably coming for me, which I don't blame you, even though I have brothers. I mean, he got worked. And I said, if you want to meet me at the park, just you and I'll meet you. And he's like, I want no part of you, man. It's not you. It's, he didn't say it, but I get it. I mean, he probably would have worked my ass anyway. So I said, well, I at least wanted to give you that opportunity. And he's like, it's all good, basically not it's all good, but like, fuck you, motherfucker. But I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stand the unknown.
Yeah.
It was driving me crazy. That's why I give a lot of credit to these MMA fighters, man. The weeks that lead up to these fights, and then walking into that cage must be the adrenaline dump and rush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I trained jiu-jitsu last year. I did a competition, and it was actually a year and a half ago, and I shit my pants, like literally. Literally, I mean,
Not a true story.
Not literally, but you know what I mean. I was so nervous, right?
Yeah.
And my buddies are like, dude, you bet $4 million on a fucking football game, and you're a 49-year-old man. You're about to wrestle some guy. It's a 5-minute match. What does it matter if you lose? You're still a beast in life. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I can't. I just don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So I go out there and roll this guy. 3 minutes, I'm beating him, and I gas to the point where I can't even feel my arms. Next, 30 seconds left, chokes me. I lose. He wins the whole Worlds, comes first place in the world.
Wow.
I lose to this guy that I could show you the video. I for sure could have beat him, or at least not get choked for 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man, just non-preparation, didn't train. I just that's the other thing. They're like, why are you even doing this tournament? It's the Worlds. Like, that's the top of jiu-jitsu tournaments. I said, because you got to challenge yourself, man. But I was shitting my pants to the point where I lost. If you've ever done that before, I mean, you guys are athletes and stuff, but it's different when it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got nervous. I played football, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
I had nothing left, dude. My 3-year-old son could have probably rolled me because my arms were done.
Well, he's a stud though, so I
He
mean,
is a little
let's
stud.
not.
That's true.
Yeah,
Let's not take
And
anything
he
away
weighs
from.
like 30 pounds, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Listen, dude. We don't want to take anything away from him.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. No, dude, he is a stud. He is a stud.
You know what I mean?
But I was, I was defeated before the match started.
Yeah.
And that's my fault. I didn't
Yeah.
prepare. I didn't have the mindset. I let the nerves take over, which we all struggle with these things, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta imagine, bro. The anticipation, we've talked about this, is probably killing you.
It is.
How do you not drive yourself up a wall where your entire life it's been about action, quick action? I can do this. I can take control of this. And that's what we're taught as entrepreneurs. Like, you take control of what you can take control of. How are you keeping yourself centered, calm during this time?
I think because I have such an obligation to 5 kids and, all these people that are looking at me, that means so much to me that I can't crumble, Like, I just can't. It's not even an option. Right?
Yeah.
It's like you're climbing Mount Everest, you're halfway up and you have no way other than to finish the climb. I mean, you just gotta fucking dig deep. I'm just digging. I mean, I have moments of like sitting in a sauna where you just want to fucking break down like a little girl and cry because it's like, am I going to prison? How am I going to raise my 3-year-old from a prison? I'm not afraid of going to prison. Nobody wants to. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't care what anyone says. You're afraid to go to prison, but I'm not afraid of like getting in a fight or gang members or whatever. I'm going to a fucking white collar camp most likely, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going on death row with, with Crips and Bloods and Mexican mafia. So I don't want to sell. I'd be shitting my pants doing that, but I would deal with it just like you guys would. I mean, you have to. I mean, you get dealt these cards, right? What I'm concerned is I can't be present as a dad and a husband. That's what drives me crazy. That's what keeps me up. So, and I've made some poor choices to allow this to occur. I just don't feel like putting me in prison really benefits society.
Yeah.
Punish me financially. Fine. I have 3 felonies. The rest of my life, I'll always be a felon. I can't get a state license. I mean, there's a lot of punishments that are already occurring.
Right.
Yeah.
But is it really helping by putting, like, is it helping my 3-year-old by his dad being in prison? Are they making a lot of money by putting me in prison? No, it's costing taxpayers money.
Right.
How do I pay back the government, the IRS, and all the money that I owe by being in prison?
Yeah.
It's just, it's really the wrong message.
Right.
Now, if I beat up an old lady and steal her purse, I should go to prison.
Totally.
If I rape a girl, I should go to prison. You know, if I'm a child molester, you should be burned in hell.
Yeah.
Those things I get.
Yeah.
But this is really, in my opinion, just the wrong message.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I'm not saying that because I'm facing it.
Sure.
I chose to break the law, I did break the law. I chose to do that. So I should be punished. But I just don't feel the punishment is accurate. It's
Yeah.
actually hurting other people more than me.
Yeah.
You know, find me double, make me pay more money, make me clean up trash on freeways. You want to make me embarrassed or insult me? Go ahead. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But this is just not really the right message.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're going to go to prison?
I'd say it's 50-50. Yeah, based on my mitigation I've done, based on what my attorneys tell me, and the cooperation credit I have towards the casino.
Yeah.
That's why I say that. But the more the more I look into this and the more people I talk to, the concern I have is that I'm a very public figure with the Shohei Ohtani part, and the judge may want to make a very big example of me because of that.
Yeah.
It may look too light, you know. So
Was there ever a time where like, gosh, yeah, dude.
too many girls chasing you.
Probably too many coaches calling
Just
me.
one.
Yeah, don't you be putting that on me, man. I mean, was there ever a time like during that whole process where they were like, maybe the league was getting involved and they were like trying to kind of sweep it under the rug, where they didn't want it to get out? Like, dude, I got to imagine the MLB is thinking, dude, Shohei Ohtani is like our biggest star.
It's quite the opposite. The FBI leaked the story to the public.
Uh-huh.
I think actually, if you really want to know the truth, the FBI and the prosecution, they get a lot of kudos for this, right? Let's be real. 2 of them are already gone. They've already moved up the ladder.
Yeah.
Left and got private
Yeah.
sector jobs. So
Yeah.
this is their home
Stepping
run.
stone.
I
Yeah.
mean,
This is their
Yeah.
career case.
they
right
don't
here.
care about MLB.
Yeah.
FBI doesn't care. In fact, they get to hang their hats on. Yeah, I busted the bookie for the Shohei Ohtani case, and
Yeah.
it's kudos. MLB though, different story. I mean, they want this thing swept. By the way, I don't know if you were aware, but this is the fastest case in the history of the FBI that was open and closed with the Ippei ever. Fastest by far.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go look. This is over millions and millions of cases.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? They clearly, MLB came in and said, let's get our pony boy back on the field, and smartly.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
dude,
That's probably the biggest asset right now.
100%.
Yeah.
To not only to baseball, but to the game, like to the MLB as internationally.
Yeah.
Like think about that.
It's always money. It's always money.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, I mean,
it's always
it's
money.
always
that drives
money.
it. Yeah.
come on.
well, MLB has clearly gotten bigger because of Shohei times a million, right? It's Japan, every other country
Oh,
now.
100%.
I mean, he's brought so much to the game, and I'm happy that he's back in and playing and
Yeah.
thriving. I mean,
Yeah.
we all need it. It's
Yeah.
more exciting, right?
So you've got to hang out with a lot of big time athletes, celebrities. Have you looked at these guys? I had an experience like this when I was, I don't know if I told you, but I did a little acting stuff and I was around some pretty big dudes.
Oh, Brad Pitt over there.
No, dude, nothing crazy. Nothing like you.
Hey, come on now, Brad Pitt. That's not this guy.
All right, here he goes. Here he goes.
Who? I mean, who do you want to be, bro? Timothy Chalamet?
It's not about me,
I
bro.
mean,
It's
bro,
not about
I mean,
me.
He's the greatest ever. Isn't that what he said in this thing? Or
No.
trying to be, striving to be.
He probably is, but that's not me. But what I'm trying to say is that I'd be around like Tay Diggs, or I'd be around, and you look at these guys and you're like,
Bro, name
dude,
drop. It's okay. You can name drop to him.
yeah, I just did.
Okay.
I'd look at these guys. I'm like, bro, I could do what this guy's doing.
Sure.
Did you ever have those moments where, maybe not like, oh, you're not going to go hit 40 home runs, but just from like a mindset perspective, I was, I've been around Odell Beckham, and I'm looking at these guys and I'm training. I'm like, bro, I'm just as tough as this guy.
Right.
Or did you ever have those types of like feelings or thoughts?
Yeah, I was a really good baseball player, actually.
Yeah.
Not saying I would have been pro, but I was really good. But I chose selling weed and getting kicked out of my house and getting my ex-wife pregnant. And actually, I was small, so
Yeah.
that hurt me. It's funny, after high school, I went back and started playing basketball and softball and baseball leagues with my friends. And I went from 135, I grew 6 inches and 60 pounds in 6 months.
Wow.
So I was 195 pounds.
Bro, your joints must hate you.
Yeah, they
during
do,
that
actually.
time, bro.
They hurt now.
Your joints were screaming at you, brother.
But I just had this massive growth spurt, right? And
Yeah.
my athleticism went to a whole different level. So when I was like 19 to 20, I was the best athlete of my life. And most of us are in our prime, let's call it like 20 to 25, whatever. But for me, it was like double what I was, you know?
Yeah.
Because I had some size now.
Yeah.
And I fucking, dude, I didn't know what it was like to have some size, to play sports. And it was great. But my point is, yeah, even to this day, I go play golf with Barkley, and he sucks. I'm better a golfer than him. I mean, that's not what he does. But in my mind, I'm like,
swing.
man, you know, it's very
Bro,
ugly.
don't make me laugh.
He's got a terrible swing.
But there's, of course,
Yeah.
because my mindset, I believe, is stronger than most of these people anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're amazing athletes, but they're just talented. They can jump a little higher or run faster or probably all the above, right? Let's be real.
Yeah.
And they're just great at what they do, and all the power to them. They found their purpose. You know, they're athletes, and they used it. And so I give them credit. Like Odell Beckham is a great example. I mean, you know, he's kind of fucked off his talents, but he still was an amazing receiver. But
Right.
think about what he could have been.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's really sad.
If he had that Shohei drive.
Yeah, I mean, or even half of that, or some Tom Brady driving him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's scary. It's sad because I believe that, you know, most people, if they had that opportunity, they would use that opportunity to be, you know, that.
How do you
special
think?
athlete.
How do you think the highest of the highest performers? How do you think that they weed out distractions? And you know, you're kind of in that echelon too. Like, how
Sure.
have you been? Because dude, you've never done drugs,
Right.
You know, you drank here and there, but it's never been really like been a problem for you. Like, how are you able to kind of stay focused and weed some of those things out?
I think it's all down to self-discipline because at the end of the day, like gambling is something that's had control over me, right? And I think the disciplinedness of the gambling for me, I've never really controlled until now because I've had to. You know, I can't gamble now, and if I do, I go to prison. So that that's a caveat. I can't set foot in a casino. I can't gamble. I'm monitored on my phone. Monitored our home.
When you say casino, even like casino room floors, like can't even be in
I'm
it.
set in a poker room, illegal, legal, any asset of gambling.
I got to walk
being
through this
arrested.
casino to get to the restaurant at the hotel. I can't do it.
No,
Is there? Wow.
I can't even stay at a hotel that has a casino attached to it.
Oh, no kidding.
No, I can't even go to the state of Nevada. I'm not allowed.
This guy, I'm telling you, bro.
I'm not allowed.
Everything it just gives this.
Yeah.
And that, you know what
No.
I mean?
The U.S. Marshals come to my house and go through my computers randomly.
Your kid's iPad, right?
Yeah,
Like, when
my
you're-
kid's iPad.
No kidding.
Yeah, no joke. Like my phone, which is right in front of us, is on a monitoring that I have to pay for. That they mirror my phone. They can see everything I do. Like if I text message my wife, I say, "Honey, send me your titties." They see my wife's titties. No joke. I'm not exaggerating one bit. I'll show it to you. So like,
Bro, I believe you.
that's where it is. It's like that. So and then I have to go drive and do a random drug test with a line of hoodlums.
Yeah.
You know, that are tattooed on their face and on drugs, and well,
Yeah.
obviously they're being drug tested. So hopefully they're not. But you know,
Could
let's
be,
real. Well, it's happening. They get arrested on the spot if they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
But like that's the stuff I'm doing right now, and you know, all because I was honest with the judge and told him that I took a THC gummy on July 4th to help me sleep, and federally that's illegal because I have never done a drug in my life. That is, I guess, considered a drug federally, but that's the only drug I've ever. I've never even taken a fucking Xanax.
Now, is that like let's say after you get sentenced, you serve your time, whatever happens. Is that still the case? Like you're not gonna be able to go to the state of Nevada?
Until I'm off probation. So probably a 3-year probation, I won't be able to set foot in a casino for sure. I can't even leave the state right now. If I leave the state, I have to get permission to leave the state.
Yeah.
But they've been pretty lenient about that. But yeah, I can't set foot in a casino for sure for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Especially because I'm a guy that loves
No,
it.
I
So
mean,
your whole so like
maybe
that's a lot
brutal's
of
not,
that's a lot of
not the right word. I don't know.
well, that's a lot of energy. I mean, there's
yeah.
a lot of energy that you've invested in your entire life. That's why
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Why like people they go to rehab and they come back and then you have to almost like replace that energy or transmute that energy into something else.
Into
Well,
podcasting.
it's actually a dopamine rush
Yeah.
that I've depleted, right? That's why I gamble, because the dopamine high for me is, I mean, listen, when you have $9 million riding on a football game, which I did in the 2023 Super Bowl, 9.4 million, like there's no higher high than that.
Yeah.
Truly, and especially when you win.
Did we hit?
Yeah, of course. The
There it
Chiefs.
is.
The
There it
Chiefs came back and won. Thought I was
You're
dead.
nervous though.
Yeah,
Nervous.
That was a close one.
Another moment of shitting my pants.
Yeah.
But
Michael loved that Super Bowl.
I did too.
No, I'm.
Oh,
dude,
that's right, Eagle fan. Huh?
well, I'm a Niner fan, but that was one against the Eagles
I had the Niners.
the year before.
The year after
against the Chiefs.
but I couldn't gamble on it.
Oh, okay.
Because I was now in trouble.
Yeah.
But Niners was who I wanted to win, and
Right.
who I would have bet.
Yeah.
But this year I would have bet Eagles.
Yeah. Well, thank God you didn't have to bet on the Niners losing that game.
Yeah, they gave that up.
Yeah,
that was just a gift.
Yeah,
That
dude,
fumble that turned everything.
that was brutal.
No, we'll change that whole game. Dre Greenlaw freaking getting
blowing
tearing his
out
Achilles,
his
running onto the
Achilles.
field.
I remember that. Yeah.
Because they had no answer for that dude. Off
That's true.
topic though, but we can.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
They had no answer.
But how?
for that
But
dude.
how are you finding dopamine now, or like what is like how would you replace
This
that?
right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm able to hang with you guys, tell my story, chop it up, talk
Yeah.
about things I enjoy.
Yeah.
Build. I'm building, right?
Right.
Everything I'm doing is an asset build.
Yeah.
And I will be on stages communicating to hopefully NFL teams.
Yeah.
MLB teams.
Yeah.
What not to do. How to avoid gambling. How to avoid guys like me who are bookmakers that could be a deterrent for them.
Yeah.
To help them avoid being in Shohei Ohtani's interpreter's shoes, right? Or some of these baseball players and people that have been barred from their careers and ruined their life.
Right.
That's possible. There's a lot of things I could be doing. I'll be definitely telling my story, and my story is exciting. So why not own it? Why not build it into my next chapter?
Right.
Yeah.
This is probably the most long-term gratification that you've had to probably
For sure.
go through.
And that's the
Oh,
other
for
hard part
sure.
because I'm used to making a lot of money fast, and
Yeah.
now I'm making zero. Like even
Yeah.
are you guys paying me today? By the
Yeah,
way?
yeah. We got you. We got you on the way out. We got you another Celsius.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But like that's the hard part. I'm
Yeah.
not seeing any
Yeah.
gratification.
Yeah.
But you have to know in life, like especially as you get older, right? As you build and you build things for your future, you get smarter about like what you guys do, right? Everything
Yeah.
you do, and you think about the 10-10-10, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for that. It applies to this. I'm thinking about 10 days, 10 months, 10 years, and all these things are what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing we were talking about too is how do you stay grounded during that time of just like you're digging deep wells, you're sowing seeds, you're planting, you're doing all these things that you may not see results from for who knows how long now.
Sure.
How do you stay grounded in that time?
Here's the great news. It's legal.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is legal. What I'm doing is positive. You always have haters and stuff that clown me or whatever, but like at the end of the day, people are getting something from this too. I'm giving back to people, right? Their mindset, they're learning from my mistakes.
Yeah.
I hope, right? And they can learn from the things that I've done wrong to make sure they don't do those things, or even just take the things I do right and apply that to their life. And at the end of the day, if I can give back and make money doing it and feel good about what I'm doing every day, I haven't done that in my life.
Yeah.
Commodities was shit.
Yeah.
Everyone lost. 90% of the people lost most of their money. Bookmaking, it's a great time in my life, but I'm taking people's money. I want them to lose.
Yeah.
It's all lose, win, lose,
Right,
win.
right.
Now it's win-win.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So I think I'll do better at this than anything I've ever done because of that alone.
Yeah.
I can wake up every day and feel good, not worry about is the FBI going to come raid my property.
Right.
Yeah.
When you have 29 FBI agents and a dog and 8 AR rifles in your chest as you're putting your son in a car, that's pretty traumatic, man.
Yeah.
And then your wife's handcuffed coming out of the house.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and then you just watch them bag cash, jewelry, purses, items,
Yeah.
computers, as they're bagging it and you're just sitting there cuffed and they're throwing it in a car. It's like, holy shit, man. This is a lot.
Yeah.
Am I going to prison? All these things are running through your head while it's all happening.
You have no control.
And
Yeah.
I just lost my business in
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
I got a wife. And so I got to think I'm going through that thought process of like, your wife's getting handcuffed. She's going through. Did she know that the day might come or was she, or is that something you had to prepare for? Or how did she
tried.
take it?
It's a great question. I tried. So 2014, I was raided by the feds before I met her, like literally a year before I did. So I had one little experience of it, which they let me go. They just took the money. That being said, it kind of gave me that ego, get out of jail free card. But I did fair warn her because I didn't want this day to come without a complete shock.
Yeah.
But it still was.
Yeah.
You can't prepare for this.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
Dude, I got to imagine my wife would be crying.
Yeah.
Well, she
You
might
know?
leave you, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Michael knows this. We had a very uncomfortable conversation I had with my wife. Right.
Yeah.
I sat her down. And I said, "Listen, this is probably like a month into this, and we're realizing the repercussions
Yeah.
slowly, right? And I said, look, you're 37 years old. You're stunning. You have a 3-year-old son. Not much baggage. I don't ever want to call it a child baggage, but you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You and I could leave right now, this relationship, and I will never look down on you for that, because you're about to fucking take on a massive load here with this problem with me. And you won't be broke. You have perfect credit. I'll take care of you financially no matter what happens to me, you know, as far as my son and obligations. You might want to think about, seriously, do you want to stay in this relationship? I promise you I'll tell everybody that we just ended things amicably, because we are, if this happens. But like, and I just started bawling, right? And I was just like, fuck, dude, I'm basically telling my wife to leave me. Mm-hmm. And that's the last thing I want. But I care and love her so much, I actually was thinking about her, her only, right? And she looked at me and said, what the fuck's wrong with you?
That's the response I was hoping for.
Yeah, and she's not even that type of person. Michael knows. She's very soft, you know. I was like, wow, you know, this is real, man.
Yeah.
So these are the things I get out of this that are positive, you know.
Yeah.
Like those are moments that I'll never forget. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool because I would have never had that moment had this not happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and not that you want that moment, but, or you do want the moment, but not for these reasons.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you should go home and hug and thank your wife, because you don't have to have that conversation because you've made better choices than me. But like, it is a pretty profound moment of our relationship, you know.
How is she, you know, I'm trying to give her some screen time, shout out. How has she been through the whole rebuild process of like, has she been pretty supportive of like all the things that you're doing now and like what you know, the turnaround you're trying to make in your life?
Yeah, she's listen, she knows me. She knows that I'm not, she actually, I think she has more respect for me now than ever.
Yeah.
Because instead of sitting on my hands, crying like a baby, being depressed, and sitting in my house and just doing nothing, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm building.
Yeah.
And I think now I'm doing something. She's always wanted me to get out of what I was doing anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, she loved the lifestyle, but let's be real. Like, she knew it was traumatic as far as even the risk I was taking, and the risk that I imposed on my family. I mean, there's people. You want to talk about home invasions? There's no better person to do it to than a bookmaker or a drug dealer. Mm-hmm. They're not calling the fucking cops or the FBI. They're just fighting back, you know, or giving you their money.
Yeah.
So she always had that fear, and then also I was in a dirty business. I mean, it was, you know, you're people aren't paying. There's all kinds of issues here and there. Don't be looking over there.
Don't be showing me things, Tony. Golly.
But there's always issues, and now we don't have those issues anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, everybody says everything happens for a reason. Is that true or false?
I believe it. Mm-hmm. I think just like karma, I do believe in those things.
Yeah.
You know, you create those reasons in karma, though. That's the key. That's the word that people forget to say. You know, everything happens for a reason, but you are the reason that reason occurs. Your judgment, your decisions, you know, your choices. Because that reason occurred because of my choices.
Yeah.
Right. So let's be honest about it. I could have avoided all of that.
Yeah. I think a lot of times when people say that, they just abdicate responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, oh, everything happens for a reason, so it's out of my hands. But you're saying everything happens for a reason, and you were the reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to own it, man. It's like the minute you actually own your shit, you set yourself free. You know, because we all make poor choices, right?
Yeah.
And the minute you own that is the minute you will feel so much better within yourself, and the insecurities go away. You know, because it's like, how do you beat a guy that can't be beaten? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been in a scrap and you just pummel this guy and he just fucking keeps getting up.
Yeah.
And then you start doubting yourself, man, because how much can you pummel this guy before he just fucking keeps going? And then you're exhausted, and then now you're getting pummeled. And do you have that same heart?
Yeah.
I hope so, but shit, man, you start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
And that's who I want to be every day of my life, is the guy who just fucking keeps coming. You know, never stops.
Yeah. You think that there's I mean, we've talked a little bit about this too, but just talking about, like, do you think there's a higher power that's orchestrating these things for you? Or like, what's kind of your thought process on that?
That's a great question. As we discussed earlier, I do believe in a higher power. I'm not ultra religious, but my strength is believing in a higher power and believing in God. But I don't go to church on Sundays to represent that. I have no problems with people that do. I think it's amazing. However, you can get that higher power and that spirit to make yourself stronger and have your mindset be where it is, and whatever your beliefs are, whether you're Jewish or whatever it is. I mean, that's what you should do. You should lean into that, and just don't push it on others. you
Right.
know? That's the only thing I don't like is pushing your beliefs on others. Like you could, you know, say, hey man, if they need help, try to reach out that way. But
Right.
that's why I always say it. Like when you see a drug addict or an alcoholic who becomes ultra religious, you know, it's a good passion. It's just like going to the gym and becoming a gym rat, you know.
Yeah.
Those are positive things. I don't look down on that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good obsession.
Yeah.
You know?
How is that like belief system or faith? Like, how do you think that that's played out in your life?
I leaned into it more spiritually than before. I've actually had like a kind of a little bit of a talent to, I've been blessed with reading situations and people better than most. And I do believe that's a higher power given to me, you know, because I could read energy of people pretty well, you know, when people are bad or good. Right. I had to have that talent with my business, you know. But I think now I'm trying to really just read into myself more, if that makes sense. You know? Figure my own self out as much as you can. As you get older, you start to really resonate with that, because the minute you figure yourself out, then you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to evolve and figure ourselves out every day, because we're all fucked up in the head, you know, to a degree, right? Like,
It's true.
we're our own worst enemies. It's the truth,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And the people that are most successful are the ones who figure themselves out the best.
Yeah.
You know, how to handle that little devil in their brain that talks them into doing these things or out of things, right?
Right.
Most of the time, it's talking you out of things that you should be doing. I mean, it goes back to your diet or going to the gym that day, or it's all little things, but they all add up, you know, throughout your life.
Right. As we wind this thing down, bro, you know, the name of your book is called Recalibrate. What does this next chapter of recalibration look like for you?
I think kind of what we said earlier, I think I'll just be giving back, and, you know, hopefully it'll be a movie. Clearly I have a documentary in process. My book's, I think it's excellent because it tells every part of my life, and I'm very authentic in it. But if I could be on stages motivating people and on mindset and recalibrating their life and making better choices and just owning the things that they should own, whether it's insecurities or bad habits or fighting that demon that's inside us, I think that's something I can do.
Yeah.
Just because at the end of the day, like, we all need to listen to a David Goggins once in a while, or whatever that person is for you. It could be somebody, you know, he's a little abrasive, but some people that doesn't work. But whatever does work, you know, I mean, you can go to Tony Robbins and
Tony Robbins of the world.
those things are great. Even if you know what he's going to tell you, you still need to hear it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we don't know that. We just need to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes your wife has to tell you something. You know, in your case, it's your husband. But, like, you know, they have to tell you
Don't
something.
talk about Richard like that. How dare you?
I thought it was Ted.
Could be. I don't know.
But they have to, like, check you.
Yeah.
Because you got to check yourself.
Yeah.
And we get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, but tell Ted sorry.
I'll tell Teddy that.
That's what you call him.
Well, dude, Matt, we appreciate you, bro. I just appreciate you as a friend, just taking time to hang out with us today, too.
Thank you, man.
And,
Yeah.
you know, where can people stay in touch with you or follow you or just follow your story?
My Instagram, at Matthew Bowyer 5. Obviously, it has all the link of all the social channels I have. And I think even my website, at MatthewBowyer.com. So there are going to be a lot of methods to look me up here shortly.
Yeah.
Bro, there's 4 other Matthew Boyers.
Is it really?
I don't know. You had to go to 5, I guess.
Well, I have 5 kids.
He has 5 kids.
Ah,
That's
there
why.
it is.
That's right. Might be 6, you know,
Yeah.
considering I'm going to be babysitting you now.
Got him.
Anytime. I'll take me on the yacht. Or one of them 400
it's coming.
PJ drive.
It's
Yeah.
coming.
There it is.
Yeah, it's
Don't
on
you
the way
worry.
back. It's on the way back.
When you watch this back, and give me 4 years, we'll see.
Yeah.
In
I'll
4 years,
surprise you.
dude, I better be on the yacht with you.
That's my point. When
Okay,
we watch
there
this
you go.
back, we'll watch it on the damn yacht together.
There,
There
hey,
we go.
Me, you, and Ted.
Teddy,
Yeah.
please.
No, you call him Teddy.
Okay, well, then you got to come Theodore.
I will if we're on my yacht. Call him whatever you want.
Call him whatever you want. Yeah.
Pleasure meeting you, man.
Hey, good to meet you.
Matt, appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, bud.
Always
Appreciate it.
appreciate you, dog.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.